Mari Mandes, and Mari is from Georgia. And oh my gosh, is this woman smart? She has created a product that every single person can use, right? You don't even have to be a business owner for it, but she's actually making it. Well, I'll let her tell you about it. So first of all, Mari, welcome to Milk Crate Business Moments.
Jean, thank you. It is an honor to be here right now with you.
Well, here's the thing. I always start with what's your milk crate moment, right? Because that's the reason we're here. And that's the moment that you found yourself in just a pickle. And it's like, how did you get out of it? And what happened next then, right? So it's really for those business moments the business moments where you literally came to a crossroads. So,
Yes, thank you for the question. I've had several of those in my life, but for the past 2 years, as a result of the pandemic, I found myself as a single mom, unemployed, and really with no permanent place to live. So I had two choices. I could have self pity and just
be
go
homeless.
with let that bury me in my emotions, or I could do something about it. I didn't have much of a choice but to do something about it and take that opportunity to create something that not only helped me, but it helped those around me, like my several people that I know, family and friends.
So you are a bookkeeper by trade, right? Or
Yes.
accountant. Wait, are you a CPA?
I'm not a CPA, but I am an accountant slash bookkeeper.
Okay. So you are an accountant slash bookkeeper. We're in the middle of a pandemic has started. You're divorced. You've got two boys and you're homeless, basically,
Yes,
right?
correct.
So I'd love to hear, and I'm sure other people would love to hear, what did you do to turn that all around?
Well, I created a product called that I called the Smart Cash Sheet, which is a tool that helps families and business owners predict their available cash balance, not just the cash flow, but their cash balance availability. And I actually created this product back in '08 to help my clients, my bookkeeping clients at the time through the recession. And I was able to help them out and keep their doors open. And I never thought about launching that commercially to families and other businesses as well. Um, and as a result of having so much time in my hands because of my unemployment due to the pandemic, then I had the time to think it through and to market it. And here I am today.
Well, now I'm sure it was a little bit more complicated than that, right? So you're like, oh, I think I'll just put my cash sheet together and everything will be okay. And so what were the tribulations that you went through when it came time to, like, okay, I'm unemployed and now I have to figure this out. So when you started figuring out, how'd that go for you?
Well, it's a product that I use to help myself, my own personal finances, and I use it daily. I believe in it, and it literally gives me eyes into my immediate financial future. Because of that product, then I can see how a decision that I make today is going to affect me 30 days down the road, next quarter, or even next year, next summer. It really has no limit. And since it's been helping my few clients a few years ago so well, and then it helped me personally to go through my low moments financially where I had to budget my only $20 that I had in my bank account, then I thought, well, why not help other people that are also struggling, because I'm not the only one, and I feel compelled to share this gift with everyone who would like to take advantage of it.
I know when I met you, you're like, this is for everyone, right? I'm like, Mari, hold on. It's not for everyone, right? But really, it is something that anybody who pays bills at home, any business owner who wants to maybe watch their cash flow or projected cash flow for the next 30, 60, 90 days, it really can help them with that, right?
Yes, exactly. It really is for anybody who is in charge of expenses and who's receiving income. Even my 13-year-old does it for his $50 cash allowance every month from grandpa. So he has his own little spreadsheet. It's really that easy that a 13-year-old person can do it. And also there's really no limit to how affluential you need to be or your financial status. Really, I have clients that are from all backgrounds because I really like to help anybody who needs the help, whether with organization or just managing their limited cash flow.
Well, I love that you said that because I have a high end client who that you're working with who has literally spent a year getting her business book straight, right? And then it's like she's like, okay, that was tough. That was awful. I don't ever want to do it again. And then she's like, but I need to get my personal finances straight. And she hired you, right?
Yes,
So
correct.
without divulging who she is, tell us a little bit about what you've done for her.
Absolutely. It's been a pleasure to getting to know her and her family. She does not live paycheck to paycheck like a lot of folks,
Sure.
which she's really blessed for. But in her case, she wanted organization. She wanted the knowledge to know where her money is going and when, so that she could plan accordingly. The fact that you have money in your pocket doesn't mean that you can freely spend it, because one day that's going to come to an end if you don't plan smartly and if you don't know really what's going on, because most people think they know what their cash flow is, and it's really limited to what's going on that day or through the next paycheck. But with my product in our client in common, I've been able to really create sort of personal financial statements to where she can see exactly how much she's been spending in each of her personal categories. And so we use that information to create this roadmap for her to follow going forward. She's been maximizing her investments. She's maximizing her savings. She's teaching her children this new organization around money. And I am really proud of her for really doing what she said she was going to do.
Yeah, she's doing great. And here's the other part. She has told me privately how excited she is that she's working with you and how much you're helping her. Because listen, this is a small business owner's nightmare, right? The books. It's always the books that's the biggest nightmare for business owners. And sometimes it's easier for them not to open the accounts payable. It's easier for them to turn a blind eye, and all they're doing every day is checking a bank account online, right? Listen, I've been there, done that, have the t-shirt, but I know that because of I deal with business owners all the time. I know that it's rampant among small business owners. So,
It really is.
what is your biggest piece of advice for small business owners who really struggle with their bookkeeping, struggle with keeping their books up to date? What's your biggest piece of advice for them?
My biggest piece of advice is don't be afraid to find out the truth. In my experience, I've had clients who have put off for so long working with me, because not because they don't like me personally, but because they're afraid of what they're going to find. And my advice is don't don't be afraid, and if you're afraid, it's okay, just act on it. Don't just take a passive stand, because in the long run it's going to cost you money. And the more knowledge you have about your financials, then you can take control and fix whatever needs to be fixed.
What is so give what's the worst thing you've ever seen? And you're not naming names. What's the worst thing you've ever seen a business owner do in their books, and because they weren't watching, it really turned into a nightmare?
I have seen several mistakes, but the biggest one that I have seen is for business owners just looking at their bank account and trusting that that is enough information that they need to know. There is so much more besides looking at your bank account. There's your cash flow, your ins and outs, there's your payables, there's the rent that's going to be due in this month, but what about the following month? What about the next quarter? What about taxes? And just thinking that their bank balance is telling them the whole story, that is one of the biggest, if not the biggest mistake I've seen from business owners doing.
So I'm going to ask you a question, and you might be shocked at the question, but I've seen so many small business owners who don't understand this. What is cash flow?
Good question, and I'm glad you asked. Cash flow really is not as simple as money going in and money coming out. It is what's available to you at the end of the day once you've fulfilled all your financial obligations with the income that you received, how much at the end of the day you have that you're free to use in your best interest, such as paying down your debt faster, building up that emergency fund that a lot of us are lacking in, or just saving to purchase a car or any asset in cash instead of
So
taking loans.
it's really your money, right? It's the money you get to keep at the end of the day, at the end of the business month, right? Anything left into in what we would call cash flow is your money, right? Whether you're
Exactly.
using it after you pay yourself, or maybe you're not paying yourself and you're just taking the cash flow as a distribution or something.
Exactly. And I
Awesome.
also help business owners determine what is a healthy distribution that they can take, uh, for example, once a quarter without tapping into cash needed for operations. When I say healthy distribution, what I mean is without having to sacrifice the money for payroll, the money for rent, the money that you need in order to run your business, how much really you have at the end of the day, like you said, to keep.
So your cash, and I've given you a hard time about the word cash sheet, right? Because it sounds like cash sheet, like a weird word we've never heard, but it's really cash sheet, right? So when you
Yes.
say it fast, it's cash sheet. So your cash sheet really helps them predict their. So I'd like to know a little bit more about that. It helps them predict their cash flow based on what? Tell us that.
Um, it's really is not a complicated process, so it's really simple. All I would need if I was doing the done for you option, which I offer DIY and done for you options for all kinds of budget. All I really need is access to the client's bank and to see what they're like. For example, I will start by pulling the last 90 days of bank history so that then I can build all the statement to see where their money's going, what their monthly obligations are. Then if they have accounts receivable, I will plug those into the smart cash sheet as well, and then that will give me a daily cash balance projection for the next 30 days, 3 months, even up to a year.
Oh, wow. So if they're worried about that, they can see that, oh, maybe at the end of the year I'm going to have 100,000 in excess in cash flow, right? Now, does that include for them their paycheck, or does it include for them after paycheck?
It would be after paycheck. It's exactly the amount that you want me to plug in as your take home pay. That is the amount that we'll be using for you to work with.
Gotcha. Awesome. So, who's your favorite kind of client?
Uh, my favorite kind of client is that one that values my product, that has that self love and self respect to want to have something more and better than just a budget.
I love that. Love that. So, which do you prefer? I'm just asking random questions here. Which do you prefer? Um, Small business owners or personal people who are using it for their personal finances, like W-2 workers?
Um, that is a good question. I love helping business owners because not only am I helping the business owner, I'm also helping all the people that are associated, like all their employees, and indirectly helping that small economy to stay afloat. When I help families, of course, that also brings me joy, but when I help a small business, I also know I'm helping the employees, the contractors, and everybody who's associated to that small business.
I love that. So one more question. What date are you getting married? Mari just got engaged, right?
Yes,
When did you get
thank you.
engaged?
April 22nd of 2023. I'm excited.
Very cool. Very cool. Mari, thank you so much for being here and explaining the cash sheet. Now, hold on. I want to pop this up here because I've had it up here the whole time and I just realized I did. But listen, if you guys would like to find out if Mari's smart cash sheet is right for you, if you want to know what your projected cash flow is for the next 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 1 year, make sure you book a call with her. It's a free consultation. She will tell you everything that she knows about how she can help you. And you can make a decision right then and there if you want to move forward, right? It's not
Absolutely.
scary, right? I think sometimes people are like, oh, I don't want people knowing my financial business. Listen, if you can't handle your financial business, let somebody who knows what your finances should look like help you. There's no stigma in not knowing this stuff. And right, you if you know better, you do better, right?
Exactly. No judgment.
No judgment. Mari, thank you so much for being here. I am so grateful that you said yes when I asked if you would be on my show. I think you have a lot to offer, not just families, but small business owners, which are near and dear to my heart. And I'm grateful for you. Have a lovely, lovely day.
Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye bye.